Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to talk about a project that I'm currently trying to build. Let's say it's more like a prototype of a build that I think might be super fun, super fast, and reliable of doing all content. It's Spectre Shield Throw. So yeah, great. mbX, you play Spectre Shield Throw. Good job. No, this is actually the core, the idea of this kind of build is like having similar to a Righteous Fire Autobomber playstyle, playing a Poison Spectre Shield Throw Occultist. So the main idea is to have like a super fast character for mapping using Plague Bearer and just run through monsters and explode them, while still having reliable single target DPS through the a bit overtuned Spectre Shield Throw. And this character is also utilizing self-chill in the build, so this is how it currently looks like. First of all, don't worry about, this guy using Eternity Shroud. It's a replica, by the way. Don't worry about those kind of things because the current PUB that I'm working on does not already, skip the replica. I think there is better ways to build this, but this was my first idea, to go with like a replica Eternity Shroud build with like all kinds of like Elder stuff and things like that. So don't worry about the current state. Don't worry about the PUB that I'm going to show you. Don't worry about anything of that, okay? The main thing here is to talk about the mechanics, the plans that I have for this build, and how we can achieve those things, and then it's about testing those, because at the moment I'm level 72. I'm like almost about to kill Kitava here. I did not kill him yet because I do have resistance problems. I'm not even res capped right now. After killing Kitava, it's going to be a lot harder as well, right? So I would say let's take a look how this character currently looks like, how it currently performs, and then we're going to talk about the mechanics and what we can maybe achieve with this one. For that reason, I'm just going to throw one shield and just loading up my Plague Bearer more or less as soon as I poison something. And now we just basically self-chill, self-poison, all of the good stuff, and just getting ridiculous amounts of movement speed, attack speed, having insane clear with Asenat's Touch, with the Occultist Ascendancy, and not even having to do anything because we play like a Righteous Fire character thanks to Plague Bearer, which is like releasing poison that we build up over time in this form of a circle. And as you see, character is fast. Yes, it is currently... Wait. Flash death. Flash death. It is hardcore viable so far, you know. It's Blood Aqueducts viable, and actually I'm level 72 just because I enjoy running around in Blood Aqueducts, blowing things up, you know. So this could be potentially a very fast mapper, and nope, this character is not using a Headhunter. This is like leveling gear more or less. Gold Rim, we have like this belt with like all resistance, we have 7 league step for movement speed and stuff like that, so don't worry about any of that, right? But as you see, the character is fast. It can get a lot faster as far as I think and hope, but this is the point that we have to like test out and see where it is going, because you always have to think about a bar that you're like putting left and right, you know. Right would be like super single target, left would be big AoE, right? So the more I invest into AoE, the less single target I will have, right? The same way like a Venus Kitchen Knife. What does a Venus Kitchen Knife do on killing a poisoned enemy? Nearby enemies are poisoned. It's something I want to try out, but having that or not having that, I think there is absolutely no difference. And this would be something, this is just for clear. So we move the bar to the left side, for my point of view, to have more or better AoE, but this weapon is shit for single target. A stat stick or Spectre Shield Throw would be a lot better, you know, with like chaos damage over time and those kind of things. So now it's about to find out how we optimize this build and how it performs in the late stages, because running Blood Aqueducts in level 70, like, good job. This is like great, you know, every build can do that. But the thing is, I cannot tell you, is a single target good? Is the clearing good? Will it actually hold up? What about the movement speed and all these kind of things? What about the defensive layers? Just because I haven't died in the acts doesn't mean that I will not die in tier 16 maps, right? So this is a prototype, this is work in progress, so don't worry about too much about the gear. Good. How does this work? First of all, let's talk about the explosions and why we're actually occultists. So we use Asenat's Gentle Touch. If you're wondering why is this Elder, Asenat's Touch are Legion bound gloves. They used to be Legion, now they're global drop pool, and Silk gloves are the only unique gloves, like Asenat's Touch are the only Silk gloves. So Get some influence tilt gloves, throw a trash to treasure on it. Good job, you have Assonance Gentle Touch with the influence, okay? So that's not a big deal. So what does this do? Curse enemies on hit with temp chains. That's like very good for poison builds, just because temp chains poison lasts longer, so it's overall more damage done for the poisons. Then non-aura curses you inflict are not removed from dying enemies. That's basically when I kill an enemy, they will have. Wait, let me just set up a new here. They will still have temp chains even though they are dead. Okay, I'm gonna show you that. Unless Herald of Ash actually kills them, I don't think so. Ah, well, this guy is not. So you see this guy is dead and has temp chains. If I remove Herald of Ash for a second, you're gonna see that, okay, Shield is actually bad as well. But you see dead enemies, if they're not, like, if the corpse is not removed, they still gonna have temp chains on them, right? And it says enemies near corpses affected by your curses are blinded, which is a nice layer of defense. And enemies killed near corpses affected by your curse explode, dealing life is physical damage. So you have the problem. Monsters that, for example, if I'm just gonna enable here my Plague Bearer now, right? You're gonna see that there is no explosions. Why is there no explosions? Because there are no monsters that, how you say... There is no monster that are having temp chains on them, because only, as it say on the gloves, enemies near corpses by your curses, you know? So if I have a corpse that does have this temp chain mark, now I move in, now the monsters will explode, you know? So the problem is, with Plague Bearer alone, we cannot trigger chain reactions. This is where the Occultist comes in, because we do have Profane Bloom. And Profane Bloom says your hexes can affect hexproof enemies and cursed enemies you or your minions kill have 40% chance to explode, dealing quarter of their damage as a chaos damage. That means with Profane Bloom, cursed enemies are going to explode, 40% chance, right? So let's see, why is this not happening? Because we're not cursing them. So the solution would be an Imperson's Amulet, because we need the other auras as well. And now we have a Blasphemy Despair setup. So now we have this as an aura, so all monsters that are close by basically are cursed. So if we now kill them, they explode, thanks to the Profane Bloom. And since we're actually now killing monsters, we also gonna inflict, since the explosion is in hit, okay? So if the Profane Bloom goes off, it will apply the temp chains from our gloves that will leave the corpses with those effects. And that's why we basically can just run around without doing anything or touching anything. And we can trigger chain explosions left and right with both our Profane Bloom and with our Assonance Touch. So I think this is like a very nice thing to do, and it's gonna be like pretty good clear at some point, I hope. I just need to make sure about the corpse removal and all those kind of things. As I said, work in progress. There's still things that I'm like, yo, why did this pack not explode? Oh, okay, the monsters were frozen. Oh, how do I freeze? You know, like all these kinds of things will come into handy, especially because the Ice Fang Orbit now says poisoned non-chilled enemies you poison are chilled. So that causes the chill, right? But this is only if we poison them, and the Chaos Profane Bloom will actually not really poison, because this would be a poison proliferation that doesn't work like that. But anyways, this is just, you know, some brainstorming here. So the next thing, what about self-chill, self-poison? So we are using the Ice Fang Orbit, which says you are chilled when you are poisoned. And thanks to the golden rule, where is it? Thanks to the golden rule, no, that's a replica hot-headed. Where's the golden rule? Here. The golden rule says poisons you inflict are reflected to you if you have fewer than 100 poisons on you, and as well as bleeding, but we don't have bleed chance, so it doesn't get reflected, right? And we also get chaos res based on that, but whatever. And you're gonna see, as soon as I throw my shield, I'm poisoning enemies, and now I have 38 poison stacks on myself, and I do actually have here a chill for 15%, right? That means I poisoned enemies, and they are chilled, but also you are chilled while you are poisoned. So with the golden rule, we're gonna poison ourselves, and therefore we are chilled. Chill is bad, because chill is actually giving you less action speed. Action speed is like cast speed, attack speed, movement speed, all those things, right? But if we're using the Winter Weave, which says the effect of chill on you is reversed, so instead of getting slower from chilled effects, we're getting faster. So in one hand, we poison ourselves, we're getting chilled, and we reverse this chill to gain insane amounts of movement, attack, and cast speed, which is nice for poison build, which is nice for clearing, and all that kind of things. So now we have like 50% extra speed and this will basically just make us like a shit ton faster than we already were. Good, so that's about the self-chill, that's about the how can we actually force explosions by just using Plague Bearer as a form of Righteous Fire, because I think this is just like, I think Plague Bearer is like the better version of Righteous Fire. It doesn't have a downside, and at some poison damage it will instantly get you to maximum amount of stacks, and you also can scale that. Good, so self-chill is off the table. No, wait, self-chill, I want to mention something else with self-chill. So basically, you probably remember those self-chill berserks that were around last league or 2 leagues ago with the, what's it, Lightning Strike, the build from like Tuna or Rutu and stuff. The thing is, people are using a non-damaging ailment enhancing things to make your chill even stronger, right? So if I just pull up this POB, as I said, don't worry about these numbers, don't worry about too much. This POB is just like flex together and just see, I'm not even res kept, so it's just about trying out, right? The thing is, you usually want to have Deep Chill and Astonishing Affliction because 20% increased effect of non-damaging ailments, and here 30% effect of cold ailments, okay? That means the chills that we're gonna have are going to be a lot stronger, and therefore if we reverse those chills through the Winter Weave, we're gonna be a lot stronger in that case, right? But it seems like that this does not work with the Icefang Orbit, okay? So, for example, you're gonna see here, what does the chilling do? As I said, movement speed, attack speed, cast speed, all these things, right? So if I remove Deep Chill, which is 30% less effect of cold damaging, or decrease, basically, right? It should do something. But if you check on the left side, the movement speed, there is nothing changing when I apply Deep Chill or not. That means for me that either POB doesn't have this one in, or it just doesn't work, because normally a chill effect, you know, and the chill effect is not always just chill, it has a percentage value, okay? So the harder that I hit, the harder that I chill the enemy, the more it will get slowed, okay? But we are not chilling enemies, right? I mean, we kind of do, because we do it over our poison through the Icefang Orbit, but it just says when an enemy is poisoned, it is chilled, okay? So there is no cold damage inflicted with that, and that's why I think that this that we will most likely be not able to scale that 15% chill that I cannot show right now. God damn it! Where's the monster? No more monsters. I just think that we just don't generate a base chill that we can actually scale, which is good and bad. So in one hand, we still gonna use our self-chill just because it makes you a lot faster. So just if I remove the, let's remove if you're chilled. Where is it? Are you chilled? I remove that. I'll lose like 90% movement speed, and I'll lose like 4 mil DPS and stuff, okay? So I think self-chilling is actually a very cool thing to do, but we cannot do it as insane as on other characters just because we cannot scale that. So if I just poison enemies, as soon as I can find some, you saw that we're gonna get a burst of movement speed, right? But the base chill that we have is 15%, and it seems like this is gonna be a fact. But still, 15% action speed is quite a lot, especially then when if we like pair it up with like Tailwind and other things and other sources, right? So I need to test this. I need to level up. I need to get my resistance going. I need to add some cluster jewels to actually see the effect in game. Maybe it's just a POB thing, but I actually think just because we don't have a flat cold value that we're gonna chill that is reverted, we cannot like scale this value in that case, right? Good. Why do we use an armor shield instead of the current meta, which is the evasion hybrid through the Seething Fury Jewel, right? So what the Seething Fury Jewel does, I think I still have it somewhere here. Seething Fury, so you get crit strike chance and crit multiplier. So what I did, I was just adding Perfect Agony, and I was actually swapping in my shield that I have here. I have this on my stash. I crafted this already for another character. I actually lose a tremendous amount of damage, even though I get insane amounts of like crit multi and stuff like that. Even though, wait a second. Something is not properly... Wait a second. We maybe have to equip the jewel first? There you go. Now it's in. Good. So now we have a base crit chance of like 36 and stuff like that. But I think this is now with the jewel is 9.2, and without it was like 13 mil and stuff like that. So I think the version that is just going for flat physical damage for poisons should be or is stronger because we scale shit tons of flat damage. Because like a 3000 armor shield will provide a lot more base damage for poisons than a 1500 evasion shield with crit multi, even though we get a lot of dot multi, but the base value is different. So I think going for a beefy armor shield should be the way to go on this build. I might be wrong, testing will show in the later stages. Next thing I want to talk about, Herald of Ash. So this is like a bit of an influence of a previous build that I played, Bane Pop Occultist, maybe a build that somebody knows. So what we did here was like using Obliteration once and using those overkill damage to trigger Herald of Ash. And the Herald of Ash, since we are scaling damage over time, will actually make a lot more damage with that, right? But to be honest, I think if I have Herald of Ash active or not is just a visual appearance, because I don't think that my clear will be essentially better with Herald of Ash. Oh shit, that chain reaction though. But I might be wrong. It might be that I can scale the AoE of Herald of Ash a lot more than I can scale the Profane Bloom explosions and stuff, right? So this is something that I still leave myself open to test in later stages, and if not, I could also just skip Herald of Ash and go for Herald of Purity or Herald of Agony, depending on which gives me more damage, because Herald of Purity has like more physical damage, and more physical damage is more damage for poison, because poison is a combined damage from physical and chaos, okay? So as I said, work in progress, you know, we trying to figure out how this may work, but I think the more I play this build, the more I think I enjoy it, because it's just an Autobomber that has the potential to be, first of all, tanky, based on like the Withering Presence. We get so much Chaos Res. So I'm already overcapped on Chaos Res, so putting in a Divine Flash to generate an extra layer of defense might actually be a no-brainer as well, right? One thing that I want to mention here about the self-poison, right? Poison is bad, and that's why we actually use Watcher's Eye, which says unaffected by poison while affected by Malevolence, right? You don't want to be immune to poison, you want to be unaffected, so you have it, but you don't. It doesn't do anything. But unaffected by poison, by Malevolence, just this Watcher's Eye is I think 10 chaos or something, right? So putting this gear together was not really expensive, even though like the replica shroud, the replica Eternity Shroud was like a 5 chaos. But as I say again, I don't think that the replica Eternity Shroud is the way to go. I think going something like Dendrobate might actually be a lot better, as well as we will have the option to use items that are not only Elder, so like Tailwind Elusive boots, or I don't know, like unaffected by poison on the boots, and then go for unaffected by bleeding as the Malevolence Watcher's Eye, or the dot multi and damaging ailments and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, it's work in progress, as I say it for the 100th time, but I think this build might actually be super fun, and I cannot wait to get this one today into maps and see how it performs, if it actually keeps up with the damage, if we are actually able to do all condom with that, and how we can min-max it to a point where it's just like becoming maybe one of the fastest mapper that is also capable of doing all condom in a sort of an Autobomber build, and I would think that might be actually really, really cool. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.